In this video, we're going to learn how to play Beethoven's Fur Elise using Tomplay's interactive sheet music. The A section of Fur Elise can itself be broken down into two sections. We'll call them AA and AB. Let's start with AA. There's only two chords that we need to know about for this section. A minor, which consists of the notes A, C, and E major, E, G sharp, and B. Write this down. This is super important to remember. Let's start with the famous opening melody. We start by playing the note E, two E's above middle C, with our pinky finger 5 in the right hand. And we'll go back and forth between E with finger 5 and D sharp with finger 4 in a count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After that, we play B with finger 2, D with finger 4, C with finger 3, and A with finger 1. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, B, D, C, A. Let's watch Tomplay. Okay, we could slow it down a little bit. Now, the last note that I play in the opening melody is an A. This A begins the measure in which the notes that we play will all belong to an A minor triad, meaning they'll either be an A, a C, or an E. Now, as you can see, when I play this A at the end of the opening melody, I'm going to double that with another A in my left hand, two A's, 2 octaves, below where my right hand thumb currently is. This begins the measure that belongs to A minor. I'm starting with an A in my left hand with the A in my right hand. After that, my left hand plays an E and an A, all of which belong to A minor. Here it is again from the opening melody. A, E, A. Then my right hand is going to move down to middle C. I'm going to play middle C with my thumb, finger 1, followed by an E, finger 2, and an A with finger 4. Now this is important. We want to keep our pinky free because we're going to use that to play the next note. We don't want to play this A with our pinky. We're going to use our ring finger, finger number 4. Here it is one more time from the opening melody. A, E, A, C, E, A, all of which belong to A minor. Let's hear Tomplay. This next measure, the notes will belong to an E major triad. Again, E major is E, G sharp, and B. Let's start again from the opening melody. A minor. Now again, we're keeping our pinky free because the next note we're going to play after this A is a B. And with this B, our left hand is going to double it with an E. Both notes of which, of course, belong to E major. After we play these two notes, our left hand is going to continue. We're going to play an octave above where the pinky just was. So an octave up to the next E, followed by a crossover to the third of the chord G sharp. G sharp. Here it is from the opening melody. A, E, A, C, E, A to E major, E with B, octave up to E, cross over to G sharp. Then our right hand is going to continue by playing just a straight root position E major triad. E, G sharp, B. Again, we want to keep the pinky free because it's going to play the next note after B. That'll take us back to the next measure. But before we get to that, let's play it once more from the beginning. A, E, A, C, E, A minor to E major, octave to E, G sharp, E, G sharp, B. Okay, once we play through the notes of an E major triad that we have right here in this measure, we're going to continue by going back to A minor. After we finish through E major, in the right hand, we're playing through that E major root position triad, E, G sharp, B. Our pinky is going to play this C, and with the C, our left hand is going to play an A, 1, 2, 3 A's below, 2 octaves below where our right hand currently is. Now the left hand is going to continue just like it did the first time we played A minor by playing an E and an A after that first D. Here it is again from the beginning. A, E, A, C, E, A, E major to E, G sharp, E, G sharp, B, back to A minor. Okay, let's hear Tomplay. Okay, so once we play through that, we're going to play one more E like we said. That's going to take us back to the opening melody. And we're going to do a full repeat of everything that we just played, but with an alternate ending. Let's play it from the beginning and we'll flow through the whole process. Here's the opening melody again. A minor, E major, A minor, 1 E in the left hand, the first E above middle C, back to the opening melody. A minor, E major. Now the first time, like we said, we played through that E major root position triad, leading us up to C. This time now on the repeat, we're going to start by playing a D. Then we're going to come straight up to C and walk our way down to A. Here it is from the opening melody on the repeat. D, C, B, A. This takes us back to A minor. Let's play everything from the beginning. I'll dictate exactly what we're playing. Try to play along if you're near a keyboard. So that does it for the AA section. Let's now talk about the AB section. This piano lesson was made using the help of Tomplay's interactive sheet music. Browse their collection of over 90,000 sheet music titles, slow down, speed up, loop. I use it with my students and I know it can help you too. Click the link in the description to start your free trial today. Okay, so the right hand starts by playing a 4-note scale from B to E, the first B above middle C. We'll play that with our pointer finger, finger number 2. And we'll walk our way up to E with our pinky, finger number 5, like this. Now the next group of notes that we play is called a sequence. A sequence in music, if you're not sure, is a pattern of notes that move to varying pitches. So for instance, let's say we had this pattern to play on the piano. A sequence would then be if we took that pattern of notes and we move it again to varying pitches on the keys, something like this. Okay, that's a general example of what a sequence might be. The sequence that we play in Fur Elise is we're going to start by playing the note G. Now the next note that we play, we're going to look for the octave of G, meaning the next G above. We're not going to play that G though, we're going to play the letter before it. Now again, if you don't know, an octave means 8 notes apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 octave. We're not going to play the octave, we're actually going to play the 7. So we'll look for the octave, meaning the next G, but we'll play the key right before it, which in this case is an F. Okay, so we start by playing G, we go to the 7, not the octave, but the 7, and then we go down 2 more notes. G, F, E, D. That's going to be our sequence pattern. Now this becomes a sequence when we take that pattern of notes and we move them on the keyboard like this. Then we go to F, and then we go to E. Always looking not for the octave, but for the letter right before it. Let's do it one more time, starting on the 4-note scale that we start the A-B section. Okay, that's pretty much the whole right hand of the A-B section. Let's talk about the chords that are being played in the left hand. We have a different group of chords than what we did in the A-A section. We're going to start the A-B section by playing a C major triad. We're not going to play a straight C major triad, C, E, G. Instead, what we'll do is we'll play just like we did for A minor, where we played root, fifth, root. Here for C major now, we're going to play C, G, C. Okay, again, that's root, fifth, root of a C major triad. The next chord after that would be G major. G major is G, B, D, but we're not going to play it like that. We're going to play it just like we played the E major triad in the section before this, where when we played E major, we played E, octave of E, cross over to the third, which for E was G sharp. Here we're playing with a G major triad, so we're going to start by playing G. We're going to go to the next G, an octave above, then we're going to cross over to B. So this pattern would be G, G, B. Okay, so again, C major starts, C, G, C, G, G, B, C major, G major. Now the third chord is going to be A minor. We'll play A minor in the left hand just like we did the first time in the AA section by playing A, E, A. Okay, so all three of those chords, C, G, C, G, G, B, A, E, A. And finally, we'll end by playing one E. There's more to do after that, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's talk about how we can put the two hands together. So again, we're starting with the right hand playing a 4-note scale from B to E. When we play this E is going to belong to a C major triad, the C major triad that we play over here. Again, C major is C, E, and G. We're playing an E in the right hand with a C in the left hand. Continue on the left hand. Start your sequence pattern. The first note for the sequence is G. And with this D, we play a G major triad. Okay, again from the scale. C major, sequence, G major, continue the sequence to F. Here we're going to go back to A minor in the left hand. Now we just played F, that means the next note in the sequence will be an E. And we'll play a low E in the left hand with this B. Let's piece the whole thing together. Starting with a 4-note scale from B to E. C major, sequence 1 to G major, F for the next sequence to A minor, then E takes us to E with B. Okay, now the next pattern that we play is actually kind of fun. We're only going to be playing E's straight throughout this whole next group of notes. We start by playing the E that we just played. Okay, that's with the pinky. Then we're going to play the next E, an octave above, with the pinky again. So pinky plays twice in a row. E here to E here, both with the pinky. Then we're going to play the next E, an octave above that, with our thumb, all three notes being played in the left hand. E, 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 pinky, pinky, thumb. Then the right hand is going to take over and play the same E that my left hand just played in the thumb. Same exact E plus the octave above it. So pinky, pinky, thumb, thumb, pinky. Then the left hand takes over now and plays the same exact two notes that the right hand just played. Pinky, thumb, pinky, pinky, thumb, thumb, pinky, pinky, thumb. Then the right hand plays that E again and the next E. So a whole bunch of E's that we play over there, starting with this low E, left hand, pinky, finger 5. Okay, let's take it back to the beginning of the A-B part and play everything up until that high E that we just played right there. Starting with the 4-note scale. C major, G major, A minor, E's. Okay, so once we hit that high E, we're going to consider this E the first notes of the opening melody, but it's going to be an extended opening melody. We're not just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like we did at the beginning of the song. We're going to play this high E, and then we're going to take the left hand and bring it to the spot where we started, but starting with D sharp. So we have the high E, then the right hand, then the left hand, then the right hand, and back to the beginning. So there you have it. Once you play through that E section, you're at the end of the A-B part. You go back to the A-A part. The A section in and of itself, it would be A-B-A, or if you want to be more specific, A-A, A-B, A-A. Let's play the whole thing one more time right from the beginning. E major, A minor, A minor, E major, alternate ending. Come back to the top, A minor, E major, A minor, A minor, E major, A B, sequence, A minor, A minor, E major, A minor,